Welcome children. Today we are going to start a chapter in physics which is measurement. Now, this is your first year where you are started to learn physics. So we have to know what actually is physics. Why is measurement required to study physics? So physics is a basic science where the laws of the universe have to be proved through a series of observations taken in the laboratory and the readings that we take is noted down and expressed in the form of measurement. Okay, so let us now first start with what steps or why was it necessary to take measurement? What is the importance of measurement? Why was it necessary? Why was measurement necessary? Now, you all like to travel. Now, when you are moving from one place to another, you are buying tickets. While buying tickets, for example, you are traveling, one person is traveling from Kolkata to Delhi and the other person is traveling from Kolkata to Kanpur. Will you pay the same amount for your ticket? Definitely no. Why? Because the distance are different in both cases. The shorter distance, you pay less. More is the distance, you pay more. This is one example. Now, earlier people were they grew crops. They were food growers. They needed to know what area of the land was, how much crop was to be was obtained from that area. Then they needed to measure or they needed to trade with others. They needed to know the weight also. So the need of measurement had come into being as a matter of different life activities, and more essentially when people had got into trade with others, they needed to measure because they had to pay and the payment had to be done in exact amount. Okay, now how do we measure? So we understand from here, let us go back. So measurement was necessary because of different life activities propelled the masses to take measurement. Just think when you just get up from bed and the next moment we think of is how much we need, how much to travel. If we are going to a grocer's shop and if you go and ask, please give me sugar, the grocer will be at his wit's end. He will not know what to do until and unless you specify the exact amount that you want to buy. So, the different life activities and the trade, the transaction between communities or between one place to another resulted in the necessity of measurement. Next, we have to learn how to measure. how to measure. Now, before that, what are you measuring? In physics, what are we learning? The different physical quantities. What are the physical quantities? You have done it before. In fact, you have been doing ever since you have started school as a toddler. But we did not know, you just did not know what you were doing. So, if you are asked, take your book, the book you are reading. This is you know what is this? Length. Yes. This is the breadth and this is the width. Can you measure it? Yes, we can all measure it. Now, here that we were, what do we measure? We are measuring the different physical quantities. Different physical quantities. What are the physical quantities? These are the quantities that have a magnitude and units. For example, length is a physical quantity. Can you think of more? Breadth, height. Then when you are having fever, you put in a thermometer. What are you measuring? Your temperature. Then when you are traveling by a vehicle, by your car suppose, on the dashboard you see several instruments. What is that? The pointer moving around a circular scale. What is it trying to capture? The distance, which is called the odometer, and another one is the speedometer. What does the odometer measure? Distance or length. Longer length is called distance, and the odometer measures the speed. These are, children, some examples of physical quantity. We will not go into the detail, but just to give you a certain concept of the physical quantity, we had just written down some of them. Now, let us take, for example, length. How to measure length? Now, so let us take this matchbox as a unit. We are now trying to measure the length of the table using a matchbox. Why matchbox? Because matchbox is one unit. Let us take matchbox to be one unit of measurement. Now let us measure the length. 1. Let us place at one corner and let us measure 1. How many matchboxes will we require to measure the length of the table? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So, the length of the table, length of the teacher's table, of the teacher's table is equivalent to 23 matchboxes. Here we see When we are describing the length, we have expressed in this, what is this? This is a number and matchbox here is the unit. So when we have measured, we can this way measure breadth also, width, height also. Now when we have measured, what have we done? We have two quantities. One was the known quantity, which is the length of the matchbox, and the length we were about to measure was the unknown quantity. So when we have measured, we have compared. Measurement then first is a comparison. Comparison between what? Between a known fixed quantity. This is a known fixed quantity. This is fixed. For this matchbox, the length is fixed. Of course, it is different from for another matchbox. So, considering this matchbox, this is the known fixed quantity. So, measurement is comparison between a known fixed quantity and an unknown quantity. Unknown quantity. It is a comparison because it is using two variables or two objects. Now, when we are talking about another physical quantity, for example, this is one. When you go to a grocer to buy sugar or flour, what does he do? He uses his balance. Of course, these days mostly balances are electronic ones. However, a green grocer, he uses the bean balance. You want to buy, suppose, a kg of potatoes. So what does he do? He places the packets of potatoes in one scale pan and he places the weight, suppose 5 kg in another pan. And what is he doing? How does he get his output? So he looks at the beam. When the beam is horizontal to the ground, then we know the mass of potato is equal to these are called weights. These are standard weights. It will be equal to the standard weight, which is 5 kg. So, in terms of measurement, what is he doing? The shopkeeper is comparing a known quantity, which is the 5 kg, with an unknown quantity, which is the potato. Until and unless the beam is horizontal, he keeps on putting in potato and taking out potatoes till both are equal. So what is he doing? Comparing the mass of two objects. He is comparing the mass, which also is a physical quantity. So now I think you have understood the need to measure. Because if you go and buy 5 kg of potato, you will also not compromise on your money. Neither will the shopkeeper compromise on the amount of Now the mass of potatoes, exact money for exact mass of potatoes should be given. In this way, transactions are carried out, trade is carried out. Okay. So, measurement therefore is comparison between a fixed known quantity and an unknown quantity. Now, therefore, what is then, how is it expressed? In terms of length, it was 23 matchboxes. This was the number, this was the unit. This is the number here, this is the unit. Now let us use a ruler. Let us take a ruler. This ruler is in centimeters and yes, we take the centimeter side. Okay, we start from the 0 mark, 30, another, 2, 3, and 25. 90 plus 25, so many centimeters. So the length of the table in terms of matchboxes was 23 matchboxes, and here it was 90 plus 25, 115 centimeters. 115 centimeters using your ruler. So we know that measurement now is expressed as a number and a unit. The unit is the fixed quantity that we use to measure. Okay. So next we move on to the units of measurement which the people in the earlier days used. People during the earlier days, they used their body parts. That was not exact, that was a kind of estimation. So, what were the body parts? Let us find out now. The body parts that were used, body parts, how to measure using body parts. Now, first was the handspan. What is a handspan? To measure length, they used handspan. The handspan starts from the tip, the length from the tip of the thumb to the tip of the little finger is 1 handspan. So, the tip of the thumb to the tip of the little finger is 1 handspan. Let us measure the breadth of the table using a handspan. 1, 2, 3. So, the breadth of the table was 3 handspan. 3 was the number, handspan was the unit. Okay, now using a ruler, it will be 30 plus 29. So 30 and 30 using a ruler, the breadth was 30 plus 29 centimeters. Number 59 centimeters, number and unit. So length or distance basically is expressed in measurement, in number and unit. All physical quantities are therefore expressed in the form of number and unit. This is one handspan. Number two, we have cubits. What is a cubit now? The hand. Look at your hand. It starts from your elbow to the tip of the middle finger. Elbow to the tip of the middle finger is 1 cubit. Elbow to the tip of the middle finger. Let me just try and draw a little. That would be easier. Reduce my, this one is 1 cubit. Handspan, a stretched hand from here to here would be one handspan, and this is the cubit. Then we have pace from one toe to the other toe while we are taking small steps forward. This is how distance was measured. Number 3, pace. So earlier people or people during the earlier times used body parts to measure length. Now, do you think that these units of measurement are still used today? No. Why? There was a difficulty that arose. There was a difficulty that arose because of the usage of body parts. What was it? Now, as I said, handspan, my handspan and your handspan will not be the same. My handspan and your handspan, somebody else's handspan will be different. My cubit and somebody else's cubit is also different. So, we cannot keep using them as it gave rise to confusion. Why? Gave rise to confusion. Different people, you had different length of body parts. What was the result of confusion? Different answers. Different answers were obtained. Different answers were obtained. Hence, a confusion arose. So, to do away with, people were confused and there was a fight that ensured. So, nobody really wanted to give in. Now, so to do away with it, so another system of units called standard unit was used. Standard unit was used. Standard unit. Standard unit. What is standard unit? It is a standard or a fixed measure of a physical quantity. Standard or a fixed measure of a physical quantity. Centimeters, hectometer, decameter, etc. However, now, different countries started using different system of standard unit. The French, while measuring length, were using centimeters, but the British had stuck to their original foot. So, again there was a confusion. Therefore, to this also did not hold good as different countries started using different standard units. To do away with this, another system in 1960, all scientists had come together to propound another system of units which was called SI unit, SI unit, SI unit or System International or International System of Units. System of Units. International System of Units. So, under this category, the length of the SI unit of length would be meters, SI unit of mass would be kilogram, and SI unit of time is second. So, this was the most accepted among the nations which we still use today. The ruler here, the difference between 1 centimeter, whatever is here in Calcutta, it is the same in England, same in Japan and elsewhere in the world. So, it became so a uniformity was achieved in the system of units. Okay. So, let us now discuss some smaller and bigger units. Smaller and bigger units. Smaller and bigger units. We can discuss this later. Thank you, children, and have a nice day.